What if your struggles aren't breaking you, but shaping you for something greater? Trust the process. God is at work in ways you can't yet see. Life often takes us through seasons of uncertainty, pain, and waiting. We face trials that shake our faith, delays that test our patience, and moments where we wonder if God is even listening. But what if I told you that every hardship, every unanswered prayer, and every moment of struggle is not meant to break you, but to shape you? What if the very process you are trying to escape is the one preparing you for something far greater than you could ever imagine? God is always at work, even when we cannot see it. He is molding you, refining you, and transforming you into the person He has called you to be. The road may not be easy, and the journey may not always make sense, but His plans are far greater than anything you could design for yourself. Every trial has a purpose. Every waiting season is a divine preparation. And if you hold on, if you trust the process, you will see His glory revealed in your life in ways beyond you. So, don't give up. Don't lose hope. Stay with me until the end of this message, because today we are going to uncover the powerful truth that God is shaping you for something extraordinary. If you've ever questioned why you're going through this season, or wondered if God has forgotten you, this message is for you. Watch until the end, because what you're about to hear could change the way you see your journey forever. In the grand design of creation, God is the master potter and we are His clay. This truth, deeply rooted in Scripture, speaks to the very essence of our spiritual journey. A potter does not randomly shape clay. He has a vision, a purpose, and a process. The clay, lifeless on its own, cannot argue, resist, or dictate its own form. It must yield to the hands of the potter, trusting the pressure, the molding, and even the moments of breaking. In the same way, our lives are placed in the hands of the Almighty, and He is shaping us with divine precision, love, and intention. Imagine a potter working on a lump of clay. At first it is without form, rough and unrefined. The potter begins by pressing and kneading it, working out the impurities, softening its texture, and making it pliable. Without this process, the clay remains useless, incapable of fulfilling any purpose. Likewise, when we come to God, we are often filled with rough edges, pride, impatience, selfishness, and fear. God begins His work by refining us, breaking down what is not of Him, and preparing us to be molded into something glorious. This process is neither quick nor painless. It requires time, submission, and trust. Many times we resist, questioning why we must endure such discomfort. Yet, if the clay were to harden too soon or rebel against the shaping hands, it would be left incomplete, incapable of becoming the masterpiece it was intended to be. Once the clay is ready, the potter places it on the wheel. This is where transformation takes place. The wheel spins, and the potter applies careful pressure with his hands, shaping the clay into the vessel he envisions. In the same way, life often feels like a spinning wheel, circumstances changing rapidly, trials pressing in from every side. There are moments when we do not understand why we are being stretched, pushed, and reshaped. It may seem like chaos, but it is divine craftsmanship. God is not careless with His hands. Every detail is intentional. The pressure we feel is not to destroy us, but to form us into vessels of honor, fit for His purpose. Yet, there are times when a potter finds imperfections in the clay. Cracks may appear, air bubbles may form, or the shape may not turn out as expected. What does the potter do? He does not throw away the clay. He presses it down and reshapes it again, making it better, stronger, and more refined. This is the mercy of God. Even when we falter, even when we resist, even when we break under pressure, He does not discard us. He begins again, molding us with patience and grace. This is why we must not despair in our struggles. What feels like a setback is often a reset, a divine reformation of our lives for something greater than we can comprehend. But the process is not yet complete. Once the vessel is shaped, it must go through the fire. The kiln is where the clay is tested, hardened, and strengthened. Without this final stage, the vessel remains fragile and unusable. Fire is uncomfortable, but it is necessary. In our spiritual journey, trials are the fire that solidify our faith, removing any remaining weaknesses and making us vessels that can withstand the pressures of life. It is in these moments of refinement that God prepares us for greater things. When we emerge from the fire, we are no longer the same. We are stronger, more radiant, and fully equipped for the purpose God has ordained for us. God, the Master Potter, is shaping each of us with divine wisdom. He sees the masterpiece within the clay. He knows what we are meant to become. Even when we do not understand the process, we must trust that His hands are at work, crafting us into something far greater than we could ever imagine. Trials are not accidents. They are not random occurrences meant to break us without purpose. They are the tools in God's hands, carefully used to refine, strengthen, and prepare us for the destiny He has designed. Many believers struggle with the concept of suffering, questioning why a loving God allows His children to endure hardship. But Scripture reveals that trials are not signs of God's absence. They are evidence of His shaping. Just as fire purifies gold and pressure transforms coal into diamonds, the difficulties we face are not meant to destroy us, but to refine and prepare us for a greater glory. From the moment we surrender to Christ, God begins a work in us that requires deep transformation. He does not merely patch up the broken pieces of our lives. He rebuilds us from the inside out. But transformation is never comfortable. It often comes through seasons of difficulty, pain, and uncertainty. Consider a seed planted in the soil. It is buried in darkness, pressed down by the weight of the earth, seemingly forgotten. Yet, in that unseen place, something miraculous is happening. The seed is breaking open, its shell is being shattered, and new life is beginning to emerge. The process is painful, but without it, there would be no growth, no fruit, no harvest. Likewise, trials are the soil where our faith takes root and grows into something unshakable. Throughout Scripture, we see that every great man and woman of God endured trials before stepping into their calling. Joseph was betrayed, sold into slavery, and imprisoned before he became the ruler of Egypt. Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness before leading God's people to freedom. David, anointed as king, spent years running for his life before he ascended the throne. Even Jesus himself was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tested before beginning his public ministry. These stories are not coincidences. They reveal a divine pattern. God does not elevate without first refining. He does not release without first preparing. The trials we face are the training ground for the calling we carry. When trials come, the natural response is to ask,
to challenges, rather it is defined by its ability to endure them. Endurance and sacrifice are not burdens, but the very essence of a deep, lasting bond.